Chosen one, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt a river flowing inside you, unseen, unstoppable, and yet divinely guided? There are moments when you sense it, a strange energy moving through your spirit, a pull you cannot explain, a whisper you cannot ignore. What if I told you this is not imagination, but the divine flow of God within you? Listen carefully, because this message is not for everyone. This is a sacred call meant only for those chosen by God to awaken in this exact moment in time. If you are here, it is not by accident. The divine flow is rising within you, and your destiny is about to shift. But here's the question you must answer today. Will you resist it, or will you surrender and embrace the river of light flowing inside your soul? Chosen one, do you know what the divine flow truly is? It is not just energy. It is not just intuition. It is the living current of God's Spirit moving inside of you, carrying you toward your destiny. Think of a river that does not ask permission to move. It flows with power. It carves valleys. It shapes the land. This same unstoppable force exists within your spirit. The divine flow is God's blueprint, encoded in your soul before you were even born. And yet, most people never recognize it. They fight against it. They try to control it. They drown in confusion because they resist the current of heaven. But you, chosen one, you are different. The fact that you're listening right now proves it. You have felt this current pulling at you in dreams, in sudden bursts of inspiration, in moments when everything around you seemed to align like divine timing. This is not coincidence. This is the flow. The same spirit that guided Moses through the wilderness, the same spirit that lifted Joseph from the pit to the palace, the same spirit that raised Christ from the grave now pulses inside you. But here lies the great mystery. The flow will not force you. God has given you free will. You must choose to step into it. You must choose to let a river of light carry you. And once you do, nothing, not even the forces of darkness, can stop what God has set in motion through your life. Chosen one, ask yourself right now, can you feel it? That stirring inside your chest, that quiet fire in your spirit. That is the divine flow awakening. And the moment you stop resisting, you will see doors opening, battles won, and miracles unfolding in ways you never imagined. Chosen one, if the divine flow is so powerful, why do so many people fail to walk in it? Why do they drown in fear, doubt, and confusion? Because the truth is, the greatest battle is not outside you, it is within you. Every chosen soul faces a moment of resistance, a moment where the voice of God whispers one thing, but the voice of fear screams another. Have you felt that inner war? The part of you that longs to surrender, but the other part that clings to control? The flow asks you to trust completely, but the mind says, what if I fail? What if I lose everything? What if I step out and the ground disappears beneath me? This is the struggle. The spirit wants to carry you forward, but the flesh wants to stay in the familiar. Fear wants safety, but destiny requires risk. Comfort wants to hold you back, but the divine flow pushes you into the unknown. And yet, chosen one, have you noticed something? Even when you resist, even when you delay, the flow never abandons you. It waits. It circles back. Like a river that always finds a path, God's current keeps knocking at the door of your spirit. But here lies the danger. The longer you resist, the louder the storm becomes. Frustration rises. Doors close. Opportunities slip away. Why? Because you were never meant to build your life in resistance. You were meant to glide with the current. And hear me now. The enemy knows this. That is why darkness whispers lies into your mind. telling you that you are not enough, that your dreams are impossible, that your past disqualifies you. These are chains forged to keep you standing still when God has called you to move like living water. Chosen one, the struggle you feel is not a sign of weakness. It is proof of the greatness inside you. For only those destined for the flow experience such resistance. Do not mistake your warfare for failure. It is a sign you are on the edge of breakthrough. And soon, very soon, the struggle will break, the river will rise. And when it does, you will discover that the very battles you thought were drowning you were actually preparing you to swim. Chosen one, there comes a moment in every destiny where the weight of resistance becomes unbearable, a moment where your spirit whispers, I cannot fight this river anymore. I must surrender. This is the holy turning point, not when you gather more strength, not when you have all the answers, but when you finally let go and allow God's current to carry you. Think of Peter standing on the stormy sea, waves crashing, fear screaming in his ears. And yet, when Christ said, come, Peter stepped out. He did not wait for the water to become calm. He surrendered to the impossible. And for a moment, he walked on what should have drowned him. That is surrender, to release control and step into the divine flow even when logic says it cannot be done. Chosen one, what would happen if you surrendered right now? What would shift in your life if you stopped clinging to fear and let the river guide you? Can you imagine? Doors opening you never knocked on, opportunities finding you instead of you chasing them, peace replacing chaos, miracles unfolding like ripples in water. Surrender does not mean weakness. It means alignment. It means finally agreeing with the rhythm of heaven. It means saying, God, I don't need to control the river. I trust where you are carrying me. And here is the mystery. The very moment you surrender, strength will rise within you. Clarity will come. The burden will lift. Because when you let go, you discover the river was never meant to drown you. It was meant to elevate you. Chosen one, the time for hesitation is over. The current is moving. Destiny is calling. God's hand is extended. Will you keep fighting the flow, or will you surrender and step into the river of divine purpose? Remember this truth. Miracles do not begin with striving. They begin with surrender. And your moment of surrender is now.
Chosen one, do you know what happens the moment you surrender? Something beyond human logic begins to unfold. The current of heaven picks you up and carries you into places you could never reach on your own. Your mind, once clouded with confusion, begins to see clearly. The burdens that felt like mountains begin to crumble. Doors that were sealed shut suddenly swing open, as if unseen hands were waiting on the other side to welcome you. This is transformation, not by your strength, not by your striving, but by the divine flow of God working through you. Where there was fear, now there is courage. Where there was chaos, now there is peace. Where there was lack, now provision flows in abundance. The flow aligns you with divine timing. Suddenly, the right people appear. The right opportunities find you. The right words flow from your lips without rehearsing. Why? Because you are no longer forcing your way. You are flowing God's way. Remember Joseph, betrayed, sold into slavery, forgotten in prison? Yet when the divine flow lifted him, he was promoted to the palace in a single day. That is the power of surrender. The flow turned his pain into purpose. The same flow is within you, waiting to elevate you in God's perfect time. Chosen one, transformation is not always loud. Sometimes it begins quietly. A new peace in your mornings, a whisper of joy where sadness once lived, a sudden boldness to do what you once feared. These are signs that the river is carrying you. And here is the mystery. As the flow changes you, it also changes those around you. Your light becomes brighter. Your words carry healing. Your presence obedience shifts atmospheres, because when you flow with God, you don't just transform, you become an instrument of transformation. Do you see it now? This is why you were chosen, not to live ordinary, not to be trapped by fear, but to be a living vessel of the divine flow, carrying heaven's current into the world around you. Chosen one, embrace it fully, because once you step into this transformation, there is no going back. The river only flows forward, and so must you. Chosen one, do not mistake the divine flow for an easy path. Yes, it carries miracles. Yes, it brings transformation, but it also carries tests. Tests designed not to break you, but to refine you. Even rivers meet rocks. Even currents crash against obstacles. Yet the water does not stop. It carves a way through. In the same way, the flow of God within you will face resistance, but every test is shaping you for a greater purpose. Look at the lives of the chosen throughout history. Moses flowed with God's command, yet he faced Pharaoh's fury and the wilderness. David flowed with God's anointing, yet he faced Goliath and the betrayal of Saul. Even Christ himself, the embodiment of the flow, faced temptation in the wilderness before his ministry began. Why? Because the flow must be proven in you. Tests reveal whether you truly trust the current or whether you will try to swim back to the shore of comfort. These tests may come as delays. When you pray and answers seem slow, the flow is testing your patience. They may come as betrayals. When people you trusted turn away, the flow is testing your heart. They may come as storms. When everything shakes around you, the flow is testing your faith. Chosen one, do not be afraid of these tests. They are not signs of abandonment. They are signs of preparation. For every test you pass in the flow, a new level of authority, wisdom, and power is unlocked within you. Think of gold refined by fire. The flame does not destroy the gold. It removes the impurities. In the same way, the divine flow uses tests to refine you until only the purest version of your calling remains. Hear this truth. If you are being tested right now, it means the river is carrying you to a greater place. The storm is not the end. It is proof that you are still in motion. Stay in the flow. Trust the current, for beyond the test lies a breakthrough you cannot yet imagine. Chosen one, do you know the secret that separates those who struggle for years from those who rise in divine acceleration? It is one word: alignment. When you are aligned with the divine flow, every step you take is multiplied by heaven's power. Your small actions create massive ripples. Your whispered prayers shake unseen realms. Your obedience unlocks blessings far beyond your effort. Think of an eagle. It does not fight the wind. It does not flap endlessly in exhaustion. Instead, it spreads its wings and aligns itself with the current. And in that alignment, the wind itself lifts the eagle higher than its strength ever could. This, chosen one, is the power of alignment with God's flow. So many people live out of alignment. They chase what is not meant for them. They cling to relationships God has already released. They pursue paths not written in their scroll of destiny. And the result? Exhaustion, frustration, delay. But when you align, everything shifts. The right people appear, not by chasing, but by divine orchestration. The right doors open, not by striving, but by God's timing. You begin to feel as if heaven itself is carrying you forward, because it is. Remember Esther? She did not force her way into the palace. She aligned with God's flow, and when the time came, the king extended his golden scepter. Remember Noah? He did not build an ark because of logic, but because he aligned with God's instruction, and the flow carried him and his family into salvation. Alignment is not passive. It is active obedience in the direction of God's current. Chosen one, alignment may require letting go of things you thought you needed. It may ask you to release control, to silence your plans, and to trust the whisper of God's Spirit. But once you do, acceleration begins. Time wasted is redeemed. Years lost are restored. The flow carries you faster than your feet ever could. This is your call. Stop fighting battles you were never meant to fight. Stop forcing doors you were never meant to enter. Instead, align. Step into the divine flow. Spread your wings like the eagle and watch as the current of heaven lifts you to heights you never thought possible. Chosen one, imagine for a moment that your entire life is a symphony. Every decision, every thought, every action is like a note being played. When you live out of alignment with God's flow, the music is scattered, broken, out of rhythm. But when you align with the divine flow, suddenly the notes come together. The melody becomes beautiful. Heaven itself begins to sing through you. This is the mystery of alignment. It does not add to your life, it multiplies it. One simple act of obedience in the flow can accomplish more than years of striving in your own strength. Think of the fisherman Peter. He toiled all night, casting his nets, yet caught nothing. But one word from Christ, cast your net on the other side, shifted everything. In a moment of alignment, the empty net overflowed with abundance. That is the power of alignment with God's flow. Chosen one, many live their lives like Peter before that moment, struggling, exhausted, chasing, forcing. They move, but they are out of rhythm with heaven. But the moment you align, your life stops being a battle of survival and becomes a river of abundance. Alignment does not mean ease. It means purpose. It does not mean everything will be simple, but it means everything will be meaningful. Every step, every trial, every breakthrough will serve the higher design God has written for you. Consider the eagle once more. When the storm comes, smaller birds scatter. They flap and panic, but the eagle spreads its wings, aligns with the wind, and the very storm that threatened to destroy it becomes the force that carries it higher. This is what alignment with God's flow does. It turns storms into elevation. But hear me, chosen one. Alignment requires surrender. It requires listening when the world is loud. It requires patience when the flesh wants speed. It requires trust when logic demands control. Alignment is not just believing, it is becoming one with the flow itself. And when you align, acceleration begins. What would have taken 10 years may happen in one. What seemed impossible yesterday becomes reality today. Relationships are restored. Finances shift. Purpose ignites. The river of destiny begins to carry you faster and farther than you ever dreamed possible. Chosen one, this is your call. Stop fighting currents that were never meant for you. Stop wasting strength on battles that are not yours. Spread your wings. Trust the flow. Align with the river of God within you and watch as heaven itself lifts you into your promised destiny. Chosen one, do you realize why God placed the divine flow inside you? It was never meant to stop with you. A river that stops flowing becomes stagnant, but the divine flow is living water, meant to overflow and touch everyone around you. The moment you align and surrender, the flow within you begins to overflow. Suddenly, your words carry healing. Your presence carries peace. Your actions release light in places where darkness once ruled. Without even trying, you become a vessel of transformation. Look back at Scripture. When Joseph embraced his flow, it not only saved him, it saved entire nations from famine. When Esther aligned with her flow, it preserved her people from destruction. When Christ walked fully in the flow of the Father, his life poured out as living water for all humanity. Do you see the pattern? The flow is never just for you, it is for those connected to your destiny. Chosen one, your overflow may show up in ways you don't even recognize. A simple prayer whispered in faith may shift someone's life. A smile, a word of encouragement, a step of bold obedience. It can release ripples that echo for generations. And here is the mystery. The more you pour out, the more the flow pours in. Unlike human strength, the river of God never runs dry. The more you release, the stronger the current becomes within you. This is why Scripture says, out of your belly shall flow rivers of living water. The divine flow is not just about your survival. It is about your assignment. You were chosen to be a channel, not a container, a river, not a reservoir. Through you, families will be healed, communities restored, destinies awakened. Chosen one, can you feel it? The overflow is already beginning. You are stepping into a season where your life itself will be the evidence of God's presence. You will walk into rooms and atmospheres will shift. You will speak and hearts will awaken. You will live and generations will drink from the river flowing within you. This is your calling. Embrace the divine flow within, not just for yourself, but for the world that desperately needs the living water only you can carry. Your overflow is their breakthrough. Your obedience is their blessing. Your life is the river of God. Chosen one, do you understand now? The flow within you is not temporary. It is eternal. It did not begin with you and it will not end with you. It is the river that has been flowing since the beginning of creation. and you are part of its divine course. From the rivers of Eden to the crystal waters flowing from the throne of God in Revelation, this current has always been. You were chosen to step into it, to carry it, to become one with it. Your life is not an isolated story. It is a stream connected to the eternal river of heaven. Every battle you faced, every tear you cried, every victory you won, it was all leading you here to this moment, to this realization. You were never ordinary. You were never forgotten. You were chosen to embody the divine flow. And hear me now. The flow does not stop when this season ends. It does not stop when life shifts. It does not stop when you are tested. The river of God is eternal, unshakable, unstoppable, unending. And as long as you surrender to it, you will never run dry. Chosen one, see the vision, the flow carrying you into your purpose, the flow carrying your children into their destinies, the flow carrying generations yet unborn into the promises of God. You are a bridge between heaven and earth, a vessel of eternal living water. Now is the time. Do not resist any longer. Do not doubt any longer. Embrace the divine flow within you fully, completely, without hesitation. For the river is rising, and you are being carried into a future greater than you can imagine. Chosen one, the divine flow is calling. Step in, surrender, align, overflow, transform. For this is not just a message, it is a prophecy over your life. The flow is eternal, and you are forever part of it.